and welcome to Lazy Cinema, and on this episode we will be joining the One Piece Hat crew, the Straw Hat One Piece crew, in order to investigate behind the scenes at one of the greatest villains probably ever predicted and told in One Piece history, to pull off one of the biggest bank heists in movie history. This is One Piece Film Gold. So, if you remember when I used to do Notaku, I did review the movie One Piece Film Z. And honestly, I credit it as one of the best movies that I've ever seen. And I do. And it is. Well, who'd have known that One Piece Film Gold would honestly not be a piece of gold in film history. The story is that the One Piece crew just happens to stumble across Gran Tetsuro, owned by the main villain of the movie, whose name is, well, Tetsuro. And they end up staying there until they realize what is the deep dark secret behind Tetsuro and his establishment. The movie really kind of fails from a plot standpoint, in that there kind of isn't one. They don't necessarily come up with the story about it, at least for the first hour into the movie. And for a movie that is 2 hours long, it really does feel like that they're trying way too hard to try to give it too many plots. I mean, yeah, Gran Tetsuro looks like a very unique city and whatnot. It actually reminds me of, I think it was called Casino City from the Sonic games. And honestly, that's kind of a cool thing. But at the same time, it really doesn't fit for what this movie is attempting to do. And what the movie is trying to attempt to do is trying to really play off this villain Tetsuro as a big baddie, sort of similar to somebody like, for example, Doflamingo or Katakuri. But he really does not measure up to the ranks of those two, even though he is pretty much a monster sort of in the film. And when they reveal his not only backstory but the reason why and his plan, as well as his backstory, what I meant to say, he really does not come off of all that, ridiculous in a sense. Now, the other villains in this, they do kind of feel like Oda's real popular characters, especially the woman that has the luck fruit, which is pretty much OP and overpowered. But when she was defeated, it's by a Deus Ex Machina. There's a lot of Deus Ex Machinas in this movie that end up becoming in play towards the ending, which feels very ridiculous. This movie feels like it wants to be like one of the bank heist movies, like, for example, Catch That Kid, Money Monster, The Town, or hell, the movie even called Bank Heist. It is not, sadly, but it tried to own up to those, and it also uses a lot of like movie cliches, like, for example, freaking doing a Mission Impossible sort of thing, and also, James Bond and whatnot. But it does not work that way, because it's a film about, superhero anime characters. You want to see the superhero anime characters, and while you do, they feel out of place in this movie. If this movie was about the rise and fall of a anime empire, sort of like very similar to The Wolf of Wall Street, I'd believe it. I'd go with it. But the thing is, it really does not come off like it belongs in One Piece. I mean, even the villain himself, as I said, feels like he does belong, but at the same time he doesn't. He has this ridiculous backstory, and the reason why he becomes more evil is because he's corrupted by greed. If you see the movie, you'll know what I mean, but it really doesn't feel like it should be a One Piece film. And there's a lot of different cameos in this film as well, from Sabo to the Marines, and hell, even one of our ex-presidents. You'll have to see the movie to find out, but when I found out who it was, I laughed like a maniac, I'll tell you that much. One Piece Film Gold, it is beautifully animated, and it is well crafted. However, it does not, deserve what Film Z did. In Film Z, they did a perfect analogy of the rise and fall of a popular marine hero and why he hates pirates. It was a very honest honest story that had a really good setup. This doesn't. This really has a poor setup, and I'm sorry to say this is one of the worst One Piece films I've ever seen. And you want to know something that makes it funnier? On the back of One Piece Film Z, it had the quote from Far East Films that said nothing short of superb, which it isn't. There is no blurb on the back of One Piece Film Z. I mean, Film Gold. So, honestly, it really does fail from it. I have to admit, the final battle is kind of exciting, but it tried to deliver way too much from a movie that didn't deliver all that much. There were a few moments that made me go, oh my god, I can't believe they did that, but it really doesn't feel like anything too superb in my opinion. And as a critic, I need to be harsh but fair and say that it didn't have me like on the edge of my seat the entire time, unlike One Piece Film Z. But sadly, it just kinda doesn't lackluster from what I intended to see from the film, and it really didn't deliver. Also, having a character from the original One Piece come in and honestly visit Nami and be with her and whatnot, it did feel really good. But mostly, I think that all that this movie was mostly fan service because there are, and especially since Ishiro Oda came out and said that he is a boob guy or a big breast man. Um, this film really has a lot of fan service going for both men and women, respectively, and it doesn't come off as well because if they wanted to do a fan servicey movie, that's fine, but there is not a reason to slap one of the most important pieces of anime and otaku history upon this and then call it a film. So, in my opinion, One Piece does try to do good. It does films Gold try to one up the original series as well as some of the other films. In my opinion, it lacks very reluctantly. But you guys could be gold yourself by liking this video, subscribing to this channel, and supporting Lazy Cinema by telling me some movies that you'd like to see me review. I do have a couple of good ones in mind. And also, if you guys want to see me do this Monday and Friday double review a week thing, will you please let me know in the comments down below about how that sounds to you guys, or by liking the video too, that always helps. So guys, thank you so much for watching, and until next time on Lazy Cinema, I'm Lazy Universe, and reminding to tell you, it's life, it's a life or death gamble out there, and until next time.